Hello, class.
Hi, class.
Last week we learned about fractions. Today we're going to learn about decimals and percentages. We'll learn about the place value of a decimal and how to convert it to a percentage. Then we'll learn how to convert decimals to percentages and percentages to decimals.
A decimal is a point or dot used to separate the whole number from a fractional part of the number. So in the number 23.9, the point is a decimal. The 23 is the whole number, and the 0.9 is the fractional part. 0.9 can also be written as 9/10. So we see that we have 23 wholes and 9/10 for our fraction.
Ariel, why exactly do we use decimals?
Well, Andy, we use decimals when we need to use numbers with more accuracy than whole numbers can provide. Just like whole numbers, these represent value. So the numbers behind the decimal depends on the value that the digits have.
So in this number, the 3, the 9, and the 4 have their own value?
They do. The 3 is in the tenths place, the 9 is in the hundredths place, and the 4 is in the thousandths place.
Awesome.
So Andy, if we had the number 15.3, what number would be in the tenths place?
Boy, that's a tough one. Think maybe the class can help me out with this one?
Great idea. Class, can you tell us what number is in the tenths place? Great job.
Wait, tenths, didn't I learn that with fractions?
Good observation, Andy. You're right. We use tenths with fractions and decimals. Let's look at these next two numbers. If we had the number 0.35,
so the 3 is going to be in the tenths place, and the 5 is in the hundredths place, so that's going to equal 35 hundredths.
you got it. So if we had the number 0.7, since the 7 is in the tenths place, it would be 7 over 10. What if we had the number 0.4? How would you write this as a decimal?
Maybe the class can help me with this one too.
I think they can. What do you think, class? Way to go. It's 4/10. Now that we've covered decimals, I've always wanted to learn more about percentages.
Well, Ariel, percentages are pretty easy once you break down the word percent to percent, which means for every 100.
Oh, that makes it much easier to understand.
Doesn't it? Now, so in the number 75 hundredths, we can see that the 7 is in the tenths place and the 5 is in the hundredths place. So we know that this is going to be 75 over 100. And since we broke down the word percent to per every 100, we know that it's 75 per 100, which can also be written as 75%.
Oh, I see now. Let's look at another number. So if we have 0.45, since this is 45 hundredths, I could write 45 over 100. And that's a fraction, and I want to make it a percent. So I would make that 45 over 100, that'd be 45%. Is that right?
Think we should ask the class on this one?
I think we should. What do you think, class? Is it 45%? Great.
That is correct.
This seems kind of tricky. Is there an easier way to convert a decimal to a percent?
There is an easier way. Let's look at a different number.
Okay.
So, with 0.23, there's a much easier way to convert this to a percentage. We just simply move the decimal place over 2 spots and add a percent sign.
Wow, that's really cool.
You know, you can use some fun things like this next time you're trying to impress your friends.
All right. Let's do another example.
Okay, let's try this one. So let's try, let's get this one out of the way first. Let's try this one.
All right, 0.18. So I move the decimal 2 places to the right, and that becomes 18%.
That is correct. Now let's try some problems together.
That's a great idea. Lucky for you, today I made cookies.
Nice!
I made 10 cookies, and Andy ate 3/10 of the cookies. So what percent of the cookies did Andy eat?
Well, we know that I ate 3/10 of the cookies. So we can write that as 0.3. And if we wanted to convert this to a percentage, we can move the decimal place over 2 spots, which means that I ate 30% of the cookies.
Wow, so if you ate 30% of the cookies, what if I also ate, I don't know, 4/10 of the cookies? So I would take my 0.4, because I know that 4/10 becomes 0.4 as a decimal. I move the decimal place 2 places to the right, and that will equal 40%.
Wow, that's a lot of cookies.
That is a lot of cookies.
How many do you think we ate altogether?
Well, if we add 30 cookies plus, or 30% plus 40% of the cookies, that would equal 70% total. And since we know we can convert this back into a decimal, we know that we ate 7 total cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
That sure is.
So, I have 20 pieces of candy that I'm going to share with my friends. And we ate 10 of the pieces of candy. How would you write this amount of candy as a decimal?
How would you even start a problem like this?
Well, we know that I ate 10 out of 20 pieces of candy. And from the previous lesson that we learned last week, we know that we can reduce this fraction down to 5/10. And we know that this is 5/10, so we can write this as 0.5. Then we can move the decimal places over 2 spots to get 50%.
Fascinating. Maybe we should do one more just to make sure we've got it.
Well, lucky for us, Ariel made 10 more cookies.
I did.
And Jay ate 8/10 of the cookies.
Jay, could you save some for the rest of us?
What percentage of the cookies do you think Jay ate?
So Jay ate 8/10 of the cookies. So, first I know that 8/10 can be written as 0.8 for a decimal. I move the decimal 2 places, and I find that 0.8 turns into 80%. So Jay ate 80% of the cookies.
That is right on the money.
I sure had a lot of fun today learning about percentages.
I sure had a lot of fun learning about decimals. Tomorrow, we're going to be practicing percentage and decimals with what we learned today with 3 fun-filled activities.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.